Hello, this is Anthony back at you from the Gazelle Gadget Lab. Today we have a follow-up video from our previous video which featured the HTC Desire against the iPhone 3GS. And I saw a lot of comments saying we want to see the Desire against the iPhone 4. So that's exactly what I have for you here. I know I haven't had a previous video on just on the iPhone 4 review, and I'll probably get that up next week as well. But I just want to show it to you real quick against the this is the 3GS, so you can just see, just for a little size comparison, you can see them all next to each other. So you can obviously see the 3GS is the slimmest. And here's front. So I'll get to the iPhone 4 by itself in a separate review, but for now let's get into this this battle between the HTC Desire and the new Apple iPhone 4. So first we're going to just start out with the physical characteristics, so the size. So we can see that the Desire is a bit bigger. It measures in at 119 by 60 by 12 millimeters, and the iPhone 4 is 115, so its length, and 58 wide and only 9.3 millimeters thin. So that's a huge advantage. Look out, you can see how thin that is. It's really nice. In terms of screen size, the Desire has a little bit bigger display at 3.7 inches, while the iPhone is at 3.5, no change over the previous iPhone. But the big thing is here is that Retina display. That 640 by 960 pixel display is unbelievable. It's really clear. So you can see, if you want to just see the menu comparison, this is like crystal clear here, which is a real nice feature on the iPhone 4. Both have multi-touch accelerometer. This does have that new gyroscope, which really I haven't much time to test it, but for gaming I guess it should be quite useful. What else in terms of features? Right here you can see the iPhone just has the classic home button. Over here you do get an optical trackpad, which is nice. Home, menu, back, and search. On top, they both feature 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks and power buttons. On the side here you do have the volume rocker, silence, the USB port, and speakers. Over here you get the micro USB, the volume rocker, and no dedicated camera button on each of them. Here's the SIM tray on this one. It's a micro SIM. This time it's using a micro SIM, just like the iPad, and the SIM card is in the back here. So now let's get into some of these features. Okay, so they both have GPS, Wi-Fi. The iPhone 4 does support N, which is pretty useful. The Desire is still B and G, so that's a new feature added to the iPhone, which is nice. What else? One more thing about physical feature I should point out to you: the scratch-resistant display on the iPhone 4. It's really not that scratch resistant. If you can tell back here, it's already broken. I dropped it once, a 1 foot drop. So I'm really questioning the build quality from Apple. It's supposed to be this helicopter plexi super glass, and the thing broke on the first drop. It's kind of disappointed in that. Once it's without contract, it's like $700 and it's already broken. So very disappointed in that. So like I said, this is the antenna, which is giving all the reception problems. I'm going to take that out of today's review because I know there's going to be a fix for that, but many of you who are looking to buy either one of these will probably keep that in mind, which if it was my money I'd probably do the same. But expect a fix from Apple coming sometime soon. And overall, just this glass is really a fingerprint magnet. I always find myself cleaning this thing with that little cloth constantly. I did drop my Desire once, which is kind of a bummer, but just a little scratches and dents, but nothing cracking or breaking like this iPhone. So in terms of apps, this is where the iPhone still dominates. The App Store is still strong, has the most apps, some of the best apps. Marketplace is catching up, which is nice, and you can find a lot of the same apps for both, but with the addition of iOS 4 and iBooks, customizable folders, I think Apple's taking a lot from Android, making the OS a lot more customizable, which is nice for iPhone users. nothing new for Android users. So let's just get into I'll show you the web browsers. We can take a look at the display. I did that in the other one. So I have the New York Times both here on both of them. And like I said in the previous one, this one has a 1 gigahertz processor when the 3GS was only using 600 megahertz processor, but now it's even. We have the A4 one processor chip in the iPhone 4, and we have the 1 gigahertz Snapdragon. So now they're both just equally as quick. And I think the iPhone 4 does seem a tad bit quicker, but not by that much. But a big drastic improvement over the 3GS. So let's just go into the website. We can look at the New York Times on both, and I'm just going to zoom these pictures to show you the quality of the iPhone display. So using the pinch to zoom on both of them, you can see the iPhone 4 is much nicer. It's clearer. It's not as pixelated. So that's one of the biggest improvements on the iPhone 4. It's got a really nice display, and both are pretty still responsive. The iPhone still does, I think, have the best multi-touch and pinch to zoom out there. And they're both really great phones. It's really hard to pick a winner. I'm a little bit biased to this. I've never been really a true iPhone fan, and I really love my Desire, so which makes it hard to pick. If it was my own money, it'd be really hard to go with an iPhone right now, just due to the build quality, the cracking, the reception issue. So I would still probably pick the HTC Desire. I'm going to go over the good and the bad. Good iPhone design, 720p video. They both have 5 megapixel cameras with LED flash, so they're pretty even there. You do get FaceTime with this, so you can video chat with other iPhone 4 users. The apps, iBooks, iOS 4, and gaming is better on the iPhone 4. The good for the Desire, the speed. Android is very customizable. The 5 megapixel camera, Google integration. The display is nice, not as nice as the AT&T, but as the iPhone, but you do get the bigger 3.7 display. The optical trackpad and the buttons on the bottom, the hardware, and I really love the Sense UI. And now we can get into the bad for both. Like I said before, reception issues and the fingerprints and the build quality on the iPhone 4, and with the Desire, obviously no front-facing camera. Some of the apps and the games for Android are not that great, and the AMOLED on the Desire is useless in sunlight. You pretty much can't use the phone in the direct sun. So overall, I think they're both great devices. Personally, I'm still a fan of the Desire. I think the iPhone 4 is a great improvement over previous iPhones, but maybe a little bit weak in build quality. But it does feel solid in the hand, so maybe some kind of a improvement, who knows, we could see from iPhone in the future, but I'll still give this one to the Desire. This is Anthony, once again for the Gazelle Gadget Lab. Thanks.